Salute and welcome to the channel. I hope each and every one of you had a very good Thanksgiving. I also hope that each and every one of you are in great physical health and mental as well. I just wanted to record this video because I have a lot of thoughts as it relates to the gaming industry as a whole, across multiple different games, multiple different genres. For instance, Halo, Black Ops 7, Tekken 8, Assassin's Creed, Dragon Age. Each one of these games, each one of these communities, each one of these titles, they're very large in their own way. They have their share of issues, some larger than others. For instance, I'll just start off with Tekken, for instance. I'm well aware that Namco Bandai has just had, I think, two videos that's about 20-ish minutes each and centered around the Mary Sue character. I've spoken about this character in prior videos, that it's essentially an anime style RPG character that should be in a role-playing game. I've said this, and I don't back away from that stance. I have yet to watch the two recent videos. I believe it's like round 1 and round 2. I'll get around to watching them. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's content. I know that character is set to drop sometime in December. The exact date, I don't really know. I honestly don't care. Because it's just more of the same nonsense. It's going to be another 50-50 character. Really, really silly. It's just, there's going to be people that's going to like the character, and that I have nothing. Hey, enjoy what you enjoy. I just know what to expect. Then when I look at a game like Halo Infinite, the news surrounding that game is that it's set to have its final update, its final expansion, or whatever it is. And this is going to mark the end of Halo Infinite's live service, essentially. It's going to have a skeleton crew that's going to maintain the game just on a basic level. And it basically puts the lifespan of Halo Infinite at 4 years. And the thing that is kind of hilarious to me, when I really and I didn't realize this until maybe a few hours ago, when I saw an advertisement of Destiny 2. You remember that game? Now, Destiny 2 is a game I have not played in years. The game ironically came out September 6th, which is my birthday, by the way, 2017. And they have another expansion on the way. And it may actually, depending on when you watch this video, it might actually be even released by the time you watch this video. And it just makes you think that Microsoft, or should I say 343 Studios, they touted Halo Infinite as being the next big Halo game that's going to be lasting 10 years. I knew when I read that all those years ago that was bullshit. Because most console generations don't even last 10 years. But I just find it hilarious that Bungie, the company that used to be aligned with Microsoft, that made all of the Halo games that the vast majority of the gaming industry and community love, they go on to make Destiny. And their Destiny game, regardless of whatever issues that game has, because I don't play Destiny 2, I'm not aware of all of the minutia of issues, but that game is closer to the 10-year period that 343 Studios touted Halo Infinite would be at. And yet and still, Halo Infinite basically died as a live service in 4 years. And then, knowing what I know about the gaming industry, because I follow this industry very well, it's more than just Tekken on this channel, believe me. And knowing who is in charge of the upcoming Halo games in terms of their development team, let's just say I'm very pessimistic on what's going on. Let's just say you have a woman that graduated Columbia University here in New York, who's never done a thing in the gaming industry, never worked on a video game at all. And basically, she has blue hair that already tells me everything I need to know. And she's basically given an executive role overseeing the development of the next Halo game. So I already know that shit's dead on arrival. Then we take a look at Assassin's Creed Shadows, a game that should have been a 100% an easy layup. Let me just say that from a design standpoint, from a community standpoint, Assassin's Creed came out of nowhere. It was like a thief in the night. It was an overnight success, one of the very few things that can happen in this industry. And shortly after its release, the vast majority of people wanted to see an Assassin's Creed game in feudal Japan where you are essentially a ninja doing assassination-based things. Now, many, many years later, we have Assassin's Creed Shadows. And what do? They decide to, and I know this might be a little bit sensitive, but hear me out, because this is real shit. They decide to pander to the black community, which is a fact, in integrating the black samurai known as Yasuke. And the only thing that people kind of 100% agree with is that, one, he was black. Two, he was in Japan during that time period. Everything else relating to him being a samurai, nobody can really say 100% with beyond certainty that he was. So instead of Ubisoft taking more of a hands-off approach of saying, you know something, we're just going to bypass this. If anything, we may utilize this character as a DLC, or we may revisit this later and create an entire game centered around this character. They decide to shoehorn this character into Assassin's Creed Shadows on top of basically pissing off the entire Asian community by not doing their homework and doing a whole lot of crazy shit and disrespecting their culture. A game that should have been an easy layup, that should have been one of those games that are still talked about to this day. Ubisoft decided to choose controversy over community. Another interesting fact is that the game originally was supposed to have two shinobi characters, one male, one female. And around the time of the George Floyd situation, this is why I say they're pandering to black folk, they decide to remove the male shinobi character and insert Yasuke. Now, me personally, early on in this channel, those that are recently subscribed, you probably are not aware, but many of my day ones are aware of this. Assassin's Creed Shadows and Dragon Age the Veilguard were two of my gaming topics I spoke about the most. And I said, and I stand by this to this day, I don't care about Yasuke as a character. I don't care that he's black. I don't care that he's in the game. I don't care that he's a samurai. But it is not lost on me that his inclusion into this game did not help the game at all. It did not help. And whatever success Assassin's Creed Shadows ended up having, it never realized its full potential. It never realized its full potential because of that. And I explained it to some people in this way. The title of the game is Assassin's Creed Shadows. What part of the title of that game, what part of this screams samurai, screams frontal combat? Because that's what a samurai is. A samurai does not hunt from the shadows. A samurai is a frontline warrior and looks at assassination, poisoning, all of the techniques that are used by the shinobi as dishonorable. So why did Ubisoft decide to integrate the Yasuke character? Now, this has nothing to do with, oh, he's black or anything like that. Believe me, like it's the fact that whether he was black or not, it's irrelevant because the character was a samurai. And in the game, you can't effectively assassinate. You can't effectively climb up anything. So basically, the character's inclusion goes against the design of the game. It just, I'm tripping over my words because it's so asinine. It's like somebody telling me 2 + 2 is 20. So that's why I'm kind of like, I'm having a lot of pauses talking about this. Now, the character, when you're playing him, he's fine. He's a pretty cool character, I'm not gonna lie. In fact, many of the delays of Assassin's Creed Shadows centered on basically the backlash that Ubisoft was getting at the time. Now, I own Assassin's Creed Shadows because of the character Naue, who is a very strong character, in my opinion. Really encapsulates the ninja shinobi aspects. That's the only reason why I bought the game. But again, what I can tell you is that if Ubisoft did right by hiring actual Japanese experts that were historians of that time period, respected that culture a lot more than they did, and basically just did not try to force this Yasuke character into this game, Assassin's Creed Shadows would have sold millions of copies. Why? Because an Assassin's Creed game in feudal Japan was one of the most requested things in the gaming space. Period. By far. By none. So now, as I turn my attention to Call of Duty Black Ops 7, where do I even start with this game? So let me just start by saying this. I am a casual when it comes to those types of games, Battlefield 6, which I also play, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and 7 that I play thanks to Game Pass, which is a phenomenal service, despite everybody bitching and complaining about $10 extra. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. So I play Black Ops 6. I managed to get a prestige level 1. And Black Ops 7, I'm still playing. I'm very early. I just prestiged my first sniper rifle, you know. The campaign has been receiving a lot of hate, and I understand why. For me personally, I have not gone through the campaign at the time of this video. I will go through it as well as Black Ops 6. I'm debating on whether I should stream it or should I just play it offline and just upload it. You guys can let me know in the comment section. And that's also kind of like the same debate I've been having with myself regarding Ninja Gaiden 4 in terms of my playthrough with that. But when I first saw the trailer of the Black Ops 7 campaign, and I saw the lead character, I think his name is Mason. He was running with his crew and he ran into this room. They all got locked in and the room is flooded with some reddish gas. I'm pretty sure everybody has seen this trailer by now. I knew two things. I knew, one, that the inspiration that I could see, whether Activision Treyarch wants to admit it or not, the inspiration from what I can see was from Batman. If you know of Batman, you know that Batman has a villain by the name of Scarecrow. And Scarecrow uses what? Fear toxin. So The Scarecrow, a Batman villain, would utilize this fear toxin to affect its enemies slash victims, to have those people see things that are not there, and to see things also uh, that are not represented as what they are in reality. So, for instance, I can look at you as another human being, but in my mind, I'm not seeing you as you really are. I'm seeing you as like some fucking giant monster. So that's where I've already seen the Black Ops 7 campaign. That's the inspiration I saw. Then number two, I knew that it was going to flop. Not necessarily the whole game, but definitely I knew that there was going to be a severe backlash amongst the Call of Duty community. Why? Because whenever you have an IP, whenever you have a game like Tekken, right, that's been around since '94, Call of Duty, what other game? Assassin's Creed. All of these types of games that has a long history. There is a deep community that is cultivated within each of these games. And when you stray too far away from the established way of things, um, the community is going to let you know. I've seen this with Tekken 8. In fact, it's one of the main things I cover on my channel. It's one of the few things that actually gets a lot of views because a lot of my subscriber base, they love Tekken or they love to talk shit about Tekken. It's usually one or the other. And then when you look at like a Call of Duty, which is a huge franchise, from Modern Warfare to Black Ops, Advanced Warfare, and so on and so forth. When I look at the Black Ops 7 campaign, this was a direction that Activision Treyarch did not need to go in. I have two schools of thought for this, and I don't know if you guys would agree. But one is 100% scrapping of that whole fear toxin angle. 100% just delete whoever thought of that, either have them removed, fired, or just put them in a timeout. That's number one. Number two, if you were hell-bent on putting this into your game, do not put it as part of your main campaign, or have it as like maybe a side mission. Don't center the entire campaign around it. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. The one of the, I think the antagonist, to my understanding, I think the man is dead according to the story of the game, is a guy named Melendez. I think the Mexican guy, whatever, whatever. He was apparently killed in a prior Call of Duty game. But your main character in Black Ops 7 is seeing visions of this character. You could have gone with that. Maybe he had post-traumatic syndrome, whatever. You can spin that however way. But creating giant-sized Venus flytrap monsters, giant-sized humans that look like they're out of a Destiny raid battle, I don't think that was the right way to go in a Black Ops game. I do think that something like this could work in anything else that is not referred to as Call of Duty and Black Ops or Modern Warfare. I think if Activision wanted to create an entirely brand new game, I think they should have put that idea on the back burner and used it for a brand new IP. It's much like I say about the Tekken 8 Mary Sue character that everybody, I've been seeing the comments of the official Namco videos that they've recently put out. And I went through the comments initially, and a lot of people are very high on that character. And that's fine. You can like whatever you like. And I'm happy that there are people that like the Mary Sue character. That's fine. But I do believe that that particular character, as I've said, is essentially an anime style role playing game character that Namco should have used for used for their role playing game franchise. That's just my opinion, and it's that very train of thought that I have when it comes to the Black Ops 7 campaign. It's not that the campaign is bad. It's just I think that it's bad for Call of Duty. Uh, and I think that many people may not agree with me on that, but I want to highlight something to you guys. Sometimes the idea itself is not, it may not be a bad idea, but it may be bad in what the idea is used in. If that makes any sense. I'll put it to you this way. The whole premise of using the Batman Scarecrow dynamic with the fear toxin, using that as the base of the Black Ops 7 campaign, I feel a story like that could have worked if it was more of an original IP. But because this is Call of Duty and you already have a very huge fan base, and also a fan base that has already questioned, why are we getting a Black Ops 7 literally a year and a few weeks after we had just gotten Black Ops 6? Now, if this was more of a situation like, okay, we get Black Ops 1 year, a modern warfare style game the next year, I personally don't agree with that. I do feel that a lot of these type of games do require more development time, and I think they should be more spaced out. But if you're going to do it, I think that's a better way of doing it. Have it more like an alternative. It's sort of like what Forza does. You have Forza Motorsport and you have Forza Horizon. They're both racing games, but their style of racing is very different. And I feel the same way with Black Ops and the other Call of Duty games. But for them to have Black Ops 6 and then turn around and have a Black Ops 7, I've seen many people in the community that talk about Call of Duty primarily, and I have to agree with them, that, you know, it's a little bit too much. And then come to find out that much of the content that is in Black Ops 6 was removed, basically stolen in a sense, and then passed off secondhand to Black Ops 7. Now, for people like me that play these games via Game Pass, you know, I'm spending my $30 a month playing my, or having access to my 470 plus games. So I'm a very happy Game Pass member. But I did not have to spend money directly on any Black Ops. Some people buy the collector's edition, the deluxe edition. So they're spending upwards of $70 and up. And to know that there are people out there that spent that money, that content that should have been for their game that they played was removed and spun off into an entirely new game that Activision is asking you to pay another $70 to play content that should have been in Black Ops 6. I'm not a fan of that. And I understand that a lot of my subscribers may be like, I don't care about Call of Duty. Well, you know what? I'm the type of person that I'm a gamer, and I look at multiple genres and I look at other communities. And when I see something that's wrong, I'm going to call it out. And that is wrong. That was greedy. And I'm not a fan of that. And most of these decisions come from the people that's at the very top. Now, I've been playing Black Ops 7. I have been enjoying the game. But like I said, you know, I'm more of a casual. You know, I'm not great. I'm not a Call of Duty sweat. I think that's the term most of you young people are using because I'm 45 years old. We never use a term sweat in my day. I don't even know how the fuck that even came about. I guess I'll Google it. But either way, I just think that this was the wrong thing to do. Now, to go a little bit deeper into the Call of Duty game, I would like to see a patch where when you play the campaign, especially well, not even especially as a solo player, because I tend to play the campaign solo. I was not really so much a co-op campaign guy. Never really, I can take it or leave it, but I prefer to play campaigns by myself. That's my preference. To know that I cannot pause the campaign playing it solo, and there's no check markers, there's no checkpoints. Activision Treyarch, I think you guys really need to add that as a quality of life. Now, I do know that one of the recent patches, based on what I know, they allow you access to the end game game mode, which was previously only accessible upon completion of the campaign. To my understanding, there are people that are they like the end game mode. People like the multiplayer. I haven't heard much complaints about the zombies mode. So it seems to me that most of the issue stems from the campaign, as well as the skill-based matchmaking issue that's continually going on. And I'm going to touch on this last point regarding Black Ops 7, is that there was an individual that I'm subscribed to. I think his name is Exclusive Ace Reloaded. He did a very in-depth video basically proving that skill-based matchmaking is still in Black Ops 7. Now, that's not surprising to people, including myself, because I did a little bit of research into what this skill-based matchmaking is. And in short, the aim is to create a level playing field for players like myself who are scrubs in the game, or noobs or beginner players, versus the sweats or the advanced level players in Call of Duty. And I understand and I appreciate that, because as a beginner level player, I don't want to spawn into a lobby where I'm getting gunned down every 5 seconds. I'm just gonna be like, fuck this game, I'm out of here. So one of the purposes of skill-based matchmaking, according to what I've researched, is to increase player retention. Now, the downside for the elite level players, to my understanding, is that they feel penalized that because they are good, they are not getting lobbies or more lobbies that have players like me, so they can gun down, have an easier time making our lives a living hell in the game, going on these 50 and 30 to 40 kill streaks, and making TikTok and YouTube videos off of our domination. So they're upset about that, and they don't like that they're having to play against people on their level or above their level. So to me, I understand the skill-based matchmaking to a point, but I find it hard for me to sympathize with those players, because I'm not hearing this. There's a gun, rifle, handgun, what have you, that is 100% broken in the game, like it needs to be patched. I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing that there are exploitable locations within a map that allows players to shoot through a wall that should be patched. I'm not hearing about that. I'm not hearing about what I'm trying to say is, I'm not hearing about anything that directly impacts the game itself. What I'm hearing are advanced level players upset and salty that they have to fight against players of their skill level and that they have to work. So I kind of, do I really sympathize? I understand the argument, but from my perspective, looking at it at face value, which probably is my issue, when I look at it at face value, I don't see what the problem is. And the reason for that is, no matter what lobby you are in, whether you're in a lobby full of sweats or a lobby full of scrubs, there is always going to be one player on some Highlander shit, one player that just stands above them all. Okay, at the end of every game in Call of Duty or whatever game, you have what in the winner's circle, you have that one player that's in the center of the screen. So obviously, to the player that is winning, I don't think they're the ones really making these videos of them hating skill-based matchmaking. I don't know. Maybe they are. But they actually look at their own skill in dominating in the game. They're looking at it as Activision is penalizing them by throwing them in lobbies with players that are just as good as they are, or maybe a little bit better. I find it hard to sympathize. Because that, you know what that would be like? That's like for me in Tekken, right? Completely different game. It's a fighting game, but we have a ranking system in our game as well. And that would be like going on ranked mode. And currently right now at the time of this video, I'm a Tekken god with Raven. Suck ass Raven. In my opinion, Raven is not a great character in this game, but that's another video. So that would be like me going on ranked, and then all of a sudden I'm having a bunch of matches against low level players that literally are like one of like the earliest ranks in the game, whether they're like a first Dan or, you know, maybe a yellow rank or something like that. Because I'm getting easy wins and easy points bashing those players, but then I start feeling some sort of way when I'm fighting against other Tekken God players and eventually God of Destruction and Tekken God Supreme players, and I'm like, I don't want to sweat. I feel like I'm being penalized. So this is why I look at the argument of the skill-based matchmaking and I'm like, is it disrupting the game itself, or is it just a matter of you not being able to enter into easy lobbies to where you can get your easy kills and bully beginner level players to farm for clicks and views on your social media? Because if you were good, if you were great, then you would dominate no matter what. Because there is going to be some player in that lobby that is going to be number one. So, you know, like I said, I understand the argument. But do I fully sympathize with these elite level players? I cannot fully sympathize. I understand sometimes it does suck feeling the need to always be on. Like you gotta be like on your shit. I mean, I feel like the way around this is having playlists to where you have the skill-based matchmaking like as it is by default, right? And then you have the other mode where skill-based matchmaking is either not present or minimally considered, which with me saying this, that's exactly how it is in Black Ops 7. However, again, the controversy, which is have been revealed by Exclusive Ace, is that he decided to use his main account along with his bot account in the playlist that is supposed to have SBMM minimally considered, but he's able to ascertain that is not 100% the case. And that is something that I don't agree with. And it's sad. And again, it goes back to my theme of gaming companies, publishers, developers are choosing controversy over community. I'm always on the side of give the community an option, give them a choice. Like I said, if you are an advanced level Call of Duty player and you don't want to have a sweat fest, then yeah, I do feel that you should have an option. You know, if you want to go and play in that mode where SBMM is minimally considered, cool. And then the rest of us type low level players, we can go into those maps where skill based matchmaking is considered so that we can grind and go against players more on our level. And over the course of time, we can get better. It's very hard to, not impossible, but it's kind of difficult to just really get better when you're just getting stomped and destroyed every 5 seconds, especially in a first person shooter game. You basically spawn and you basically get killed in like 5 seconds. Like that, nobody wants to go through that. It's great for the people that's doing it because you're getting easy points, but it's not. It's not fun. It's not fun at all, especially if that's the experience most of the time. Every now and then, okay, fine. I get into a lobby. All right, whatever. But there should be a progression, and every once in a while, you'll get thrown into an elite level playlist, and then you can kind of ascertain where your skills are at that point. You know, it's sort of like trying to go to the gym and you're trying to bench press 205, 215, 225 for the first time. Like, you're going to hurt yourself. It's best just to grind a little bit and then every now and then test your strength. That's the ideal way to do it. But that's my thoughts on that. But hopefully Activision Treyarch can get their act together, fix their game, because as of right now, Battlefield 6 is completely annihilating them. And when I look at that, it's sort of like, is it that Battlefield 6 is that much better than Black Ops 7? Or is it that Black Ops 7 just basically hung themselves? Because Battlefield 6 is by far not a perfect game. It's not it's not, oh my God. It's a great game. But is Battlefield 6's success truly predicated 100% on them? Or was it the design decisions and the reception that Black Ops 7 had? I think it's a little bit of both. I think if Black Ops 7 was a game that the gaming community respected, which it clearly, right now it does not, but if it was, I do feel that Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7 would probably be a little bit more parallel. But the fact that this is the very first time, to my knowledge, that Battlefield has completely destroyed Call of Duty, I can't help but think that much of this situation is caused by Activision Treyarch, again, choosing controversy over community. Because if they would have done right by their community, like Battlefield has, I'm sure that Black Ops 7 would be much better off. And this is kind of like where I'm just going to wrap the video up here for those 5 of you that's probably still watching. Many of these games, they've all had some form of controversy, some greater than others. Even when you look at the other game, what is it called? A Ghost of Yotei. The first Ghost of Tsushima had a character by the name of Jin Saki, who was universally praised, universally loved. Everybody loved the character and they wanted more of this character. And what did they end up doing? They decided to go with another character. And it's not so much that the character is female. It really, from what I saw, it was because this woman is an Antifa terrorist sympathizer. And much of what was going on that I seen in that game, in terms of the marketing or just the news, centered around her. Now, that's not to say that the game itself was bad. I think the game, from what I can see, it looks like a beautiful game. And it looks like it's very successful. And I'm very happy for my PlayStation brothers and sisters that are enjoying the game. But I mean, I can't help but think if this was a different character that did not have a lot of the controversies surrounding, surrounding the character, I do feel that Ghosts of Yotei would have sold even more, and I think that's what this really comes down to is when you look at a game's popularity, let's say if it is popular, let's say if it sold its share of copies, if you remove the controversy, the game 100% would have done better. And I look at Dragon Age the Veilguard. You had a tranny, some dude that masqueraded as a woman that basically led Dragon Age as a franchise into ruin. Now, I'm the type of player that one particular thing, one aspect of a game does not doom a game for me. I own Dragon Age the Veilguard. I bought Dragon Age Veilguard on launch day. Even though I said in an older video, I said I want it. But my reasoning for it is one, because I'm a fan of the franchise. I've played every single game. I liked the combat of Dragon Age the Veilguard. I think it's the best in the series. The music is very good. Graphically, it looks amazing. So there are a lot of things about Dragon Age the Veilguard that I enjoyed, but the writing and the identity politics, the virtue signaling, the non-binary bullshit from a character that should be deleted out of the game, that 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt is what led to most people hating on Dragon Age. Because even when the game was soon set to come out, all I ever saw about Dragon Age that people were posting was the Tosh character, the character that has the horns, the blue character, basically the clip where she's saying, I'm non-binary. And then another clip of another character that's doing push-ups as a form of self-punishment because that particular character did not affirm to the whole they-them mental illness. So if you were to remove those elements out of Dragon Age the Veilguard, if you like Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet and just snap it out of existence, Dragon Age the Veilguard would have done infinitely better. Infinitely better. The only other issue I've seen that people didn't like about the game, to my recollection, was some people did not like the art direction, and other people didn't like that the character Solus kind of took a bit of a backseat. I don't really know because I haven't finished the game yet, but those are the other issues I've heard people say, and I haven't even heard it that often. Like I said, the headlines of Dragon Age the Veilguard was dominated by the mental illness, top surgery scars of self-mutilation, the non-binary nonsense, and yeah. So if you remove all of that, that's why I say these developers decided to choose controversy over community, because the community of Dragon Age did not want that. They didn't want that. And it's just something that I'm seeing more and more in the gaming industry, that we are hiring developers that are essentially activists. Their priority, to me, it looks like they're prioritizing their own messaging. They're prioritizing their own agenda, as opposed to just focusing on creating a great story, a great game. I'm not against people wanting to express themselves. That's what you have. These people that believe what they believe. They have, what is it, Blue Sky? I think that's like a whole website dedicated for extreme leftists, progressive liberals, people who believe in self-mutilation, believe that men could be women, and so on and so forth. You have an entire social media for that. So you're free to do that. But when you're making a video game for an entire industry that the vast majority of the gaming populace is straight, normal men and women, you're gonna have a backlash when you're basically virtue signaling and pushing these type of elements. And this goes in line again with controversy over community. And every time when this happens, even if the game is remotely successful, its true success potential will never be fully realized because they've basically shot themselves in the foot. And controversy takes many forms, and I've just covered it. You know, trying to make Halo a live service game, that was going to fail. Trying to force a character, a samurai-based character, well, alleged samurai-based character, in a game called Assassin's Creed. Of course, that failed. Of course, I want to say fail, but it did not get to the heights it should have. When you're infusing a Batman Scarecrow gimmick into a military shooter like Call of Duty, again, I can go on and on about this. I'm almost approaching 50 minutes. I'm definitely going to end off here, but I would love to hear some of you guys' opinions and takes. You know, I understand it's a bit sensitive, but look, you know, these are real issues that are plaguing the gaming industry, maybe even some of your own favorite games. And I'm pretty sure there are other games I have not mentioned. So if you want to add any other game that I did not mention, not to say I don't know about it, but I'm not going to mention everything, so I'll be here for like hours. But if you want to mention another game that you don't like the direction that it went, give me the game, the name, and give me what happened and what you would have liked to have seen. Because like I said, from Tekken with its gameplay decisions of all the heat, the installs, the rage arts, all this other bullshit, it's I'll be talking about Tekken very soon. Let's just put it that way. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was informative. And if this was your first time seeing me, hopefully I will have earned your subscription, and stay tuned for additional content. Anyway, take care. Peace.